One of the finishing touches I use on my O-scale models is shingling the roof. I use a Campbell scale shingle because I find it's very realistic and very easy to use. This is one model I'm just finishing up, and you can see I have one side of the roof already completed. Now, what I'm going to do is show you how to apply them and how to stain and weather them in one easy step. The roll of shingles come pre-packaged in 50-foot and 100-foot rolls. This is a package of a 50-foot roll, and this is what it looks like once it comes out of the roll. It's perforated and has a gum backing to it, which makes it very easy to stick to the building's roof. What you're going to do is you're going to tear off some lengths, keeping in mind that you're going to want them longer than what the roof is because you're going to need to trim them off once it dries. Now take a sponge, soak it with water, and wipe the gum side of the shingle. You're going to put this right on the apply to the building, starting at the lower edge of the roof. And this is very important, where the edge of the roof must be straight, because this is your guideline for the rest of the rows of shingles. What you can do is take a back of an X-Acto knife and just move the shingle in place to where it looks best and is the straightest. You take your next strip and apply it the same way. You're going to want to align it so it's placed over the flat surface of your first strip. And again, if it needs to be straightened out, just take the back of an X-Acto blade and straighten it out. Now you continue doing this all the way to the top of the roof. Normally, it'll take about 15 to 20 minutes to dry before you could trim it off. We already have the other side finished, so let me turn the building around for you and show you how to trim the edges off. You're going to take a single edge razor blade and you're going to trim each edge off. And it's very important to make sure that the blade is sharp. And as you can see, they trim off very, very easily. Trim this other side here. Actually, the edge of the roof will help guide the razor blade. And any ones that get stuck, you could just pull out with your hand and snip off like so. So you can see, just that fast, we have a nice clean edge on each side of the roof. It's a level edge that you'll be able to put your trim on later on. We're now going to proceed to stain and weather the roofing shingles. What I use is Flocal paints. What I have here is Flocal Walnut Stain, Flocal Earth, and Flocal Grimy Black. We're going to apply the Flocal Walnut Stain first, diluting it very slightly with some thinner. And this is how we're going to do that. I'm going to take a wide brush, dip it into the Flocal Walnut Stain, dip it immediately into some thinner. You're going to go ahead and apply it onto the roof. Although the flow stain is already pre-thinned, you want it a little thinner than when it comes just out of the bottle, and that's why I suggest dipping your brush into some thinner first. Okay, once you've applied the walnut stain, you're going to let this dry, I would say a minimum of 12 hours. Ideally, you should wait overnight before you apply your other weathering colors. Once you allow the roof to dry, you're going to put your final weathering colors on it. First color we're going to use is Grimy Black. You're going to take a medium-sized brush, dip it into the black paint. You take most of it off the brush over on a paper towel. What you're going to do is streak it down the roof. You could do this randomly. It doesn't have to be uniform. You want it to be staggered as much as you can. as weathering is never uniform. Once you've applied the black, you're going to take your earth color with a different brush. You're going to do the same thing. That's all there is to it. Now you're going to want to let this dry, again, at least overnight. The final step is to apply a grimy black wash over the roof surfaces. This is going to help subdue and break down the colors and blend everything together. Now what I use for a wash is 1 ounce bottle of Dysol thinner and 50 drops of grimy black to this Dysol thinner. This is a good moderate to heavy black wash which can be used on almost any type of roofing that you care to weather. Now, this is a bottle of that black wash. All you're going to do is take a large brush and just wash over it. Once this dries, if you feel that you'd like to darken it up a little bit, you can go ahead and put another coat on it. These particular type of shingles, this wash will darken it very slowly, so you don't have to worry about getting it too black. And basically that's it. This roof is done. And once it dries, it's going to look very weathered and look very realistic. Let me show you another method of staining a roof using a couple other different focal colors. Now there's many different colors you can use, but due to time restrictions, I'm going to give you one more method. What I'm going to use is driftwood stain and streak in some oak stain while the driftwood stain is still wet. We're first going to take the driftwood stain and we're going to apply it directly from the bottle right onto the roof. We're not going to thin the gray wash out at all. You're going to see that the driftwood stain is going to be soaked into these shingles, and it's going to give you dark and light spots automatically, and you want to leave this because this just adds to the weathering. Now once the driftwood stain is applied to the whole side, you're going to take some oak stain using a number 4 or a smaller brush. You're going to wipe a little off, and you're going to streak this down through the driftwood. You're going to notice that some of the driftwood is going to mix with this oak stain. It's also going to start coming off on your brush, but don't be concerned about this. Basically, that's it. As simple as that. You got a gray colored roof with some brownish wash streaks through it. Once you're done with the oak stain, you're going to allow this to dry overnight, or at least 24 hours. Once you allow the roof to dry for 24 hours, you can apply the grimy black wash that we used on the other roof. I can't do it right now because we just did this and I have to allow it to dry. But you can apply the wash on after 24 hours. Once you apply it, if you feel that you want it a little darker, you can wait 2 to 3 hours and apply another wash. And you can build up as many washes as you'd like to get the desired results. So basically that's all there is to it. Shingling, staining, weathering shingles, very simple, very quick, takes no time and looks very realistic.